All right, guys and gals, this is Miss Thomas, and we are going to talk about the art elements. We're going to create a space to take notes on the art elements. I'm going to give you the vocabulary. You're going to watch a video that shows you the definitions within artworks and shows you what to write down for each of these vocabulary spaces. So we're going to title our page the art elements. And there are 7 of them. So just be prepared. And there's like different definitions that go with each one. So here, I would like to have you go ahead and define what the elements of art are. They are, in fact, the ingredients of art, and art cannot be broken down any further than these elements. So they are also known as the building blocks of art. Okay, they cannot be broken down any further. It's kind of like the periodic table of elements. We can't break matter down any further than those. You can't break artwork down any further than these. And that's one of the reasons they're so important to know, because we need to know them in order to look at artwork as objectively as possible. It's probably pretty obvious to you guys that our artistic interpretation is very subjective, meaning that's different. Everybody's different opinion is very easy to wrap around a piece of art. But we want to get to a more objective place where we're not trying to put our personal tastes into the judgment of the piece in front of us. If we are more open to really seeing what's going on in front of us, that allows us to really grow more, which to me is one of the wonderful things about experiencing art, is it helps me broaden my perspectives and horizons. But in order to do that, I have to be open to what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing. And understanding these fundamental basics really helps you to do that on a cognitive or thinking logical level. All right, so number 1, we first have line. And hopefully, normally I go over these in the beginning of the year. Before we start projects. But this year, I'm doing it now. So you're probably pretty familiar with a lot of these things, not just from the projects that we've done, but from your life in general. So you'll write the definition here while you're watching the other video. I would like you to think of some types of lines. You can take the ones from the video. You can also come up with other ones. Maybe you want to say zigzag lines, hatchy lines, whatever comes to mind. I'm sure you could, if you really put your mind to it, you could come up with 30 or more if you sat down and really racked your brain for how many different types of lines there are out in the world. And I do want you to look at line variation. Also known as what we called it calligraphic line. So that will be line. And then So types, line variation. The second, and leave yourself some room. You're not going to have to write a whole bunch, but think about how large or small your handwriting is. But we're going to look at value. Tell me what value is. And then give me a really quick little visual definition example, because it is a visual language, right? So we have our little value scale, and you'll take it from light to dark. Then we have color, which we've just gone over, so hopefully you're ready for that one. And I would like you to look at hue, intensity, and saturation. Not leave a little space here. That's maybe a little more difficult to explain than what hue is. Hue is just the name of the color. It's the pure color. So number 4 is space. I'm going to try and fit these all in one page. We will see. We will see if that's possible. And there's a couple different types. So 1, depth. All right. And you have 2 different types of depth. You have shallow. I'm going to write this a little bit smaller. And deep. And then we also have positive space, and negative space. And this is even a type of drawing that we did not, that I cut out, that I normally do with students this year. Now we're going to move on to number 5, which is shape. So what is the art element shape? And then we have 6, which is the art element form. Can you guys see? No, you cannot. All right, so shape and form. And then between these two, because they're different, but they're very similar, you have both geometric shapes and forms. And you have organic. Shapes and forms. So give me those 2 definitions over here. And then our last art element, and I'm going to have to make this, sorry guys, I can't zoom in for this last one. I don't have the space. But 7 is texture. Okay. And you get 2 different types of texture. One is actual, texture. And the other is implied or visual texture. And you will give me the definitions of those things here. So this is your notes, or your like that you're going to go ahead and watch the video and you're going to fill in the definitions for each of these art elements as you get to see the art pieces, and how those elements are applied in artworks throughout history. Enjoy.